If you're thinking about passing through Kilkenny, this episode might make you reconsider your plans and spend a little more time in Ireland's medieval city. Hi, welcome again to another Traveling in Ireland podcast. Today we are headed to Kilkenny City. Now, this may be my favorite Irish city. It's smaller than Dublin, but has so much to see and do within even just that medieval mile area. There's just so many historic attractions and things that are just going to leave you kind of marveling at how much there is in such a small space. Now, Kilkenny City is not as popular as Galway, but you're going to find plenty of live music and pubs to enjoy. And it has what I think is Ireland's best castle if you're looking for that palace-type visit. I'm excited to share more about this incredible medieval city with you, but first a reminder. If you heard about a place on the podcast and you schedule in for a visit or an experience, be sure to let them know. This helps me to get more great guests on the show and to share more terrific Ireland attractions and tips. So go ahead and be a name dropper. Just say, I heard about you on the Traveling in Ireland podcast. So today I am joined by James Kavanagh, who is the owner of Hurling Tours Ireland. James is a Kilkenny native. He's pretty passionate about his county and about making sure that people are getting the most out of their visit to Kilkenny. So James, I want to thank you for joining me again, and we'll talk about your last visit in just a little bit. But thanks so much for coming on today and having a chat with me.
Yeah, Jodie, that's great. Yeah, and thanks for having me on today. And I hope I can share a few things about our great city of Kilkenny.
So thinking about your top recommendations for places and things to do in Kilkenny, if you had somebody that was coming in just even to visit you, maybe they live in the north or in the southeast or something, and they haven't spent time in Kilkenny, what would you say that they should really focus on in the city, in that city center, medieval mile, historic area?
Yeah, it's most of the people that come into Kilkenny actually kind of treat it as a fly-by area and they don't spend enough time in it. You could spend like one night in Kilkenny, even 2 nights in Kilkenny. But as for the main things in Kilkenny itself, like there's plenty, or the same as other cities, there's plenty of walking tours, and our Kilkenny has the best ones as well, like the Ormond Language walking tours with John Britton. They have the Kilkenny walking tours with John Comfort, and they have like Shenanigans walking tours, which is very popularly known with Nevin. There's train tours then as well. So like there's 2 train tours that can take them round from at the start at Kilkenny Castle up at the medieval mile, and to take them all around Kilkenny as well. And people can like see Kilkenny in a different way compared to walking. So like the train tours.
I think it's important to mention those aren't trains. They're like road trains. So I've had people say, I've heard that there are train tours in Kilkenny, but I can't find one. And it's important to mention these are road trains. So they look like little trains, but they drive.
Yeah, they're on the roads instead of the tracks. Yeah. And people can explore the whole of Kilkenny that way as well, which is an easier way as well, maybe, than not everyone wants to walk around either.
And it is a nice tour. We've done it. We've done the yellow train. I've heard that's the best. That's the original.
The yellow one was Ivan Sheridan, I think he owns that one.
But we've done it, and it was great with the kids. They were a little younger at the time, but Doug and I got a lot out of it. There's so much good information shared, and it's a fun way to see the city for sure.
Yes, it only takes, I think, a half an hour, 3/4 of an hour as well. It goes on the hour every hour then as well, up at Kilkenny Castle. So Kilkenny Castle is kind of, I suppose, is one of the must-see attractions in Kilkenny. It's right on the doorstep of Kilkenny. It's one of the most popular, I'd say, heritage sites in Ireland. It's visited by hundreds of thousands of people every year. There's 50, 60 acres of grasslands all around in as well. Like there's walking trails. There's it's a must see, especially when you come to Kilkenny, and it's right on Kilkenny's doorstep as well, or right in the heart of Kilkenny, so it can't be missed.
It really is that focal point of Kilkenny. And I think that what people maybe don't realize when they are in castles in Ireland, because if you've been to England or things like that, a lot of the castles that you visit for tours are very elaborate, very beautifully staged. But Irish castles, for the most part, are pretty barren and dark. So I feel like Kilkenny Castle really qualifies as maybe Ireland's only palace. It has those palatial features that you're not going to get in a lot of castle tours. I think there's only one other castle tour that I can think of where it still very much feels like the castle is as it was when it was inhabited, right? And that's Malahide for that more elaborate feel, and then Bunratty, obviously, for the medieval feel. But Kilkenny has that almost palatial feel to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's there. It's there since Normandy time as well, and the thing is about it that you can still do the tour inside, and I'd say it's 50% do the actual tour inside, or else just walking around the Splendor Gardens outside, which could take up half the day as well if you wanted it in as well. So it's unbelievable. Yeah, even the scenic sights is even to look at I'd say is worth a picture even on its own.
Definitely, and the beautiful river walk right there beneath the castle. Great for the morning.
I think it's 5 kilometers all the way around in as well. If you want to do the whole walk all around the Castle Gardens, there from one side to another then as well, which is a great walk in the mornings as well.
It is for sure. Now, Kilkenny has one of only 3 ancient round towers that can be climbed at St. Canice's. And I think that's a really special experience that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
No, yeah, St. Canice's Tower is on the far side of the city. Well, it's walking distance. It's only 15 minutes from Kilkenny Castle as well, walking distance. And you can climb all the way up to the top of the tower, or whichever guest kind of does, when they walk it. And you can see the whole of Kilkenny from miles and miles. And there's not too many towers that you're allowed to climb up to the top of. It's one of the must-do things to do as well when you're in Kilkenny.
It's a pretty special experience. Are there any other highlights within the city that make it kind of a unique stop that you would recommend to people?
Yeah, well, if you're staying in Kilkenny, it's 2 of the hotels as well. It'd be kind of the Newpark Hotel. That's just on the border outside Kilkenny. It's in Kilkenny City itself. They have a lovely, Jurassic, dinosaur park, which is getting very famous. And it'd be kind of more for younger kids and younger families as well. So it's a dinosaur-themed park as well. And it's a wildlife farm there as well.
What's that called?
Or the Newpark Hotel. It's Kilkenny Jurassic Park. Yeah, so it's very good. It's very good for the kids, and they get to see all the dinosaurs as well, and the dinosaurs make noise when they're passing by as well, and so on. And then there's the Lyrath Hotel then as well. So the Lyrath is lovely, and they have the Hawkeye School of Falconry, where you get an opportunity to fly and handle one of their trained hawks or owls, or even get them or the hawk and owl to come from the tree and land in your hand. It's a very special moment as well, and it's something a bit different. And that's in the Lyrath Hotel, which has absolutely splendid grounds as well.
It's a great hotel.
Or there's K-Bowl Entertainment Centre in the middle of Kilkenny City as well, for families then as well. It's an entertainment centre on the off chance that the weather is not great.
So what does that have in it? What would be in that when you say entertainment centre?
They'd have bowling, they'd have kind of pool and kind of snooker, arcade kind of games for all the kids to keep them or to stop and get bored in as well. So it's a good way to pass an hour maybe.
I could see that. Excellent. And what about outside of Kilkenny? I know we're kind of sticking close to the city, but the county has really a lot to offer as well. What kind of outdoor, maybe more rural places would you say that if people are spending a couple days in the area would be worth traveling outside the city?
Oh, 100%, yeah. There's Dunmore Caves where you can explore an underground cave. That's just 10 minutes from Kilkenny. There's kind of a Nor Valley pet farm as well. There's a big karting track as well in Kiltarkin, which is a half an hour outside Kilkenny. And I suppose the jewel in the crown is the Castlecomer Discovery Park. Yeah, which is 80 acre farm where they've treetop walks, kind of zip line, outdoor activities. They've a craft studio, they've a shop there, they've a cafe there. It's an unbelievable experience, for kids of any age, from 4 all the way up to 20, and for families as well, because there's plenty walking trails in as well. And that's in the Castlecomer Discovery Park, which is only 25 minutes outside Kilkenny if you're driving. So it's well worth a visit.
That's a really good suggestion. I think it's not something that people think about when they're on vacation in Ireland. I think a lot of the time the focus is very history, castles, but a place like Castlecomer is, you have kind of all of it, right? Because it's a historic spot, but you're taking part in these kind of adventure activities as well.
Exactly, yeah, and it's for every ages as well. It's most people that come to Kilkenny are kind of they've only landed in Kilkenny and they're kind of automatically thinking, where are we going next? Is it to the Rock of Cashel or to Cork or Kerry? But there's so much to do in Kilkenny. It's the first stop kind of outside Dublin as well. Like you could easily spend like the 2 nights there, even like definitely spend like 1 night in Kilkenny. Like there's so much to do.
So where would you send people if they ask you where to have dinner or where to see the best music? What would you tell them?
Or most of the pubs in Kilkenny, like during the tourist seasons, have all live music, early in the evening especially, and even at night time as well. So like you have the Field Bar, you have Langton's, like you have Matt the Miller's, it's very good as well. Kittler's Inn, I suppose, would be the top of it in as well. There's a big story about it as well. Our Dame Alice Kittler, it's there since I was born there back in the year 1280, I think, and it opened as a pub in 1324, so it's been around a long time. So like she was married 4 times, then she was accused of being witchcraft, and she had to be deported to England. But the whole story about the witch and everything there's all tunnels in the pub where you can sit down and eat and drink in and listen to the music as well. So there's a great team story about the pub as well. So that's called Kittler's Inn, and they have music, I'd say, like 7 nights a week.
Good offering. It has a really good atmosphere, a nice feeling to it. It's a fun place. The Field Bar, I had so much fun in the Field Bar.
Yeah, or the Field Bar is kind of very close to the castle as well, Kilkenny Castle. It's a small bar, but sometimes the small bar is better than a big bar that's empty, and there's plenty of live music in it.
I think we were the only Americans in it. Like, it's right there on the corner, and it's not as big and loud and flashy as the others.
No, but you're kind of drawn into it.
I mean, there were probably 30 people in there, and my group of 8 were the only Americans. So much fun.
Yeah, and the singers kind of in the feel as well. They engage with the guests in as well, and like to bring them up and let them sing then as well if they want.
Such a good time. Kilkenny is such a great city. But like you said, so many people treat it as a pass-through. They're like, we're going from Dublin to Cork, and we're going to go through Kilkenny. And I think the thing that I hear from people who return and then they follow up with me, or they will have gone and then they find me, is we didn't spend enough time in Kilkenny. We wish we would have spent.
Yeah, a lot of people would have their itinerary done, and maybe they would have said, okay, we'll spend 3 hours in Kilkenny, but it's just when they arrive in Kilkenny, like when they realised in and they'll see it, and exactly as you said, Jody, when they look back, they said maybe we should have spent more time in Kilkenny.
And one really good reason to spend a chunk of time in Kilkenny is to enjoy hurling. Because this isn't a go and see it type of experience. This is a go, take part, get on the pitch, hit the schlitter, and really experience hurling. And this is what you do, James. You have Hurling Tours Ireland. You joined me back in episode 151, and we talked all about hurling. So for anybody listening who wants to know more, definitely head back to that episode. You know, you kind of told me it was a cross between hockey and football and murder. and then it was it was the fastest sport on grass. So I mean, just really a fun experience. I did this with a group of people a little over a year ago, and they just raved about how much fun it was. So can you talk a little bit again about Hurling Tours Ireland and what you do?
Yes, when I was in school, or like when it was just around my school time, I got a job up at Kilkenny Castles, just kind of as a tour guide. And every day the tourists, because as I said, they were walking around the splendid gardens and everything, or the kids would be out playing hurling in the Kilkenny Castle. So the guests would come up and inquire about what this game was and what are they doing and who are they trying to hit and all this. And so I explained it's the national sport of Ireland. It's called hurling. So it is a mixture of a lot of sports combined. It's a mixture kind of, as I tell the guests, it's a mixture of lacrosse, pickleball, basketball, American football, ice hockey, tennis, rugby, squash, golf, soccer. And mix them all into one and you'll get hurling. So it's a mixture of every sport, but it's very similar to the game of lacrosse, or which a lot of Americans will be very similar with. As the years passed by, and then I decided, like there was an opening in Kilkenny, which is the home of hurling, because we've the most All-Irelands, that there was an opening in Kilkenny for something kind of different than a walking tour. So I set up Hurling Tours Ireland. It's been good so far. It's for every age group then as well, kind of from 4 to 94. So any age can take part in it. The actual game itself is played on grass. It's the fastest field sport on grass in the world. As I said, it's the national sport of Ireland, and it's played all over the world now as well. So it's played in small pockets all over the world. It's growing slowly but surely. And after every guest comes on the trip, I tell them there's a hurling team back home as well. And they do be very surprised when they find out there is actually a hurling club, which is not too far from their home, like city then as well.
I think that probably one of the greatest things you've done with your tour is you've made a sport that seems to require, or that does require, a lot of skill and a lot of fitness, really accessible for everybody to get their hands on. You don't have to be able to run. You don't have to be super fit to get out and really have fun with your hurling tour. And I think that that is probably one of the best points about it, is that you don't have to have a level of fitness to go out and do this.
Exactly, yeah. It's for every level and every age. We do it from 4-year-olds maybe who just want to come with their parents and their grandparents, and they just run around the field, like they'll play hurling for a few minutes, like they'll try it out, they'll run out the field. The parents are happy because they're getting tired out, or the kids are getting tired out. And then for people who've never completely done sport any time in their life, and they tell us at the start of the tour, but I've never played sport, and I said that you don't need to play any sport to do this. So like we do a little presentation first in the dressing room, and we bring them out onto the field then. And we just show them all the basics of the game of hurling, how to hit the ball on the ground, like golf, how to rise the ball, because you're not allowed to pick it up off the ground, how to hit out your hand, but it's all done at slow pace. And then if there was whatever pace that suits the guest, we can up the pace, we can lower the pace, and it's done for around an hour and a half. And then there's ample opportunities to take as many pictures as you want, or take shots at the goal then and score a goal like the way a Kilkenny scores. So it's 3 points if you score a goal, and if you hit over the bar, it's worth 1 point. And that's POINT, not PINT, just for clarification purposes.
Point, not a pint. Although you do have a location where points are included. I mean, let's be clear, you've got 2 locations that you're doing this, and one is in Cannes.
Yeah, which comes in very handy there. Yeah. So our next location, you can actually get the PINT, which is the point. So I have 2 locations. I have one in Kilkenny City itself, and the second one is in our picturesque village of Freshford, which is only 15 minutes drive from Kilkenny City. And it's exactly halfway between Kilkenny and the Rock of Cashel. So it's a great stop-off part if you're heading to the Rock of Cashel after Kilkenny. And I do the presentation in the pub, and I show people all about hurling and bring them up to date on the hurling. And then we just go out onto the adjoining field, and they can try out like the game for themselves, exactly the same that we do in Kilkenny. And then afterwards, if they want to come back in and have a PINT, or even if they want to pull their own point, they can come back in and pull their own pint of Guinness or their own pint of the Smithwicks after playing the hurling as well. So there won't be anyone sweating or anything like that.
Excellent. So where can people find out more about Hurling Tours Ireland? How do they book? What's the best way for them to book? And any place else they can find more information?
Yeah, so the main places to book is on our website, is hurlingtoursireland.ie. So that's the main where you can book. You can find out about all our, so like we've daily bookings as well, and we could do private tours then as well. And we're on Instagram and under Hurling Tours Ireland. We're on Facebook, Hurling Tours Ireland, and on TikTok as well.
As you heard, Kilkenny Castle is one of the best castles to visit in Ireland. So, of course, Kilkenny is on my free 7 Castles in 7 Days itinerary. This is a Ireland castle vacation itinerary that includes at least 1 amazing castle to visit every day, as well as quite a few that you get to sleep in. You are going to have a scenic route through the southern half of Ireland. So think about that invisible line between Dublin and Galway. This itinerary stays to the south of that. You will have daily stops that are filled with history, charm, and plenty of local flavor, as well as some really easy options to extend this trip to up to 2 weeks. So even though it's a 7-day itinerary, I have some great ideas for you to expand that, travel a little bit slower, and experience more. This itinerary is perfect for first-time visitors and seasoned travelers, and it takes all the stress out of planning while adding a whole lot of magic to your trip. You can get your free itinerary at IrelandFamilyVacations.com/castles, CASTLES, and start planning your royal adventure today. Spreading your range there. That's excellent. So before we wrap up, my listeners know that I usually wrap up with 3 things to see or do in an area, but we just pretty much covered the highlights of Kilkenny City and the surrounds. So I thought maybe we would wrap up with some hurling information. These are questions that I get a lot just to fill people in on a little bit of hurling. So number 1, I'm often asked, when is the hurling season? When is the sport played? The main season. I know, like, for the kids, it's like an all year thing, but.
So it's played all year round, but main for the inter-county teams. So every county starts in the middle of February and it's played all the way up to July. So the final is on in July. So the main final is called the All-Ireland Final. It's screened all over the world. It would be the Ireland's equivalent of the Super Bowl. That's played on July. I think it's like July the 19th this year. It's on a Sunday. It's played in Croke Park in Dublin. 83,000 people will be at the final. It's sold out. It's sold out weeks in advance. All the spectators sit beside each other. So all the Kilkenny fans will be beside the Cork fans and vice versa. And that's the showpiece of Irish sport every year is the All-Ireland Hurling Final. After that, then all the clubs play against each other. So in every town and village in Ireland, you have a shop, a pub, a church and a hurling club. So they play against each other all the way till October. And then from October to Christmas is the colleges scene. So it's played all year round. It's played in every condition in bar snow then as well. But the main final is the All-Ireland Hurling Final. Very hard to get tickets for the All-Ireland Hurling Final. But any other match, like, there would be no problem getting tickets for the All-Ireland semi-final. The All-Ireland quarter-final is on at the start of June. All the fixtures can be found on the GAA fixture list. It's called the GAA, so that stands for the Gaelic Athletic Association. So if you go on to gafixtures.ie, you can find out when all the teams are playing against each other then as well.
You just answered all my questions in one. So the hurling season, it basically lasts all year. People can find a match any time of the year.
Yeah, so the bigger matches are the county matches, but you could find a club match in a town or a village team any time of the year. They're equally as important and they're equally as passionate. And I often send guests to a local match in a local town or village, and to go with the people and to stand with the local people and to get as much out of that as you would get out of watching the All-Ireland final in Croke Park.
And the best way to find a local match is to use the GAA website. Is that going to have every match in every county on it?
No. So in Kilkenny, like, you look for the Kilkenny GAA hurling fixtures. In Cork, you look for the Cork GAA. So
Okay. So look for the county GAA hurling, and that's going to get you.
Exactly. Whatever county that you're in, that just type in like Cork beforehand or Kilkenny, preferably beforehand as well. Or else if you inquire in any local pub or anything or any local shop, or they will tell you where the big games are on.
Excellent. And then the finals in Dublin, Croke Park, huge arena, 83,000 people, like you said. So what else would people need to know if they were thinking that they might want to try to take in that game?
First of all, it's like the Super Bowl in a way, in a smaller way. It's Ireland's version of the Super Bowl, and the same thing. It's very hard to get tickets for the final. It sells out very, very quickly, but there's always a chance. There's always a hope. If you're around Dublin and if you're near Croke Park on that All-Ireland, even to experience the match build-up, to experience the atmosphere before the match. If you're in the Croke Park area, if you're in that Dublin area on that day beforehand, like, there's a chance that there will be like a few tickets floating around. Like, you might get them in as well. But if you do happen to get in and you're going to witness one of the best spectacles of sport that you'll ever see anywhere in the world, which most I guess find at the end, or which find it extraordinary that it's played by amateur sports people then as well. So yeah, so they all have to go back to work the next day. Well, after the All-Ireland final, and they'll get a week off work, but after a normal match, and they're back working the next day then as well.
Oh, such a fun, interesting sport, and such a fun experience that you have, James. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me a little bit more about Kilkenny, share these hurling facts, and really kind of just open things up a little bit to the possibilities when you're traveling through that area.
Thanks a lot, Jody.
I hope that this podcast episode gave you a few more ideas maybe for adding some time to your itinerary in Kilkenny. It really is one of my favorite cities and just such a nice place to be. I really love it and can't say enough good about it. If you did enjoy this podcast, I would love it if you would leave a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you can't leave a review on your podcast app, please visit IrelandFamilyVacations.com/trust and just say something nice there. I would really appreciate it. If you have questions or comments about this episode, you can always email me, Jody, Jody, at IrelandFamilyVacations.com. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, slán go fóill.